Good afternoon, friends. I'm Arun Patel, and you are listening Apna Radio 96.9 FM. Today, on 6th August, we are observing Hiroshima Day. On 6th August 1945, more than 9,000-pound uranium-235 bomb was loaded aboard a modified B-29 bomber, dropped the world's first deployed atomic bomb over the Japanese city of Hiroshima. This happened during World War II, that is 1939 to 1945. The explosion, which was caused due to the bombing, wiped out 90% of the city. It immediately killed 70,000 people, and tens of thousands later died due to radiation exposure. After 3 days, on 9 August 1945, a second B-29 dropped another bomb on Nagasaki. The second bombing killed an estimated 40,000 people. The then Japan's Emperor Hirohito announced Japan's unconditional surrender in World War II on 15th August, citing the devastating power of the new and most cruel bomb. So today we are observing 75th year of Hiroshima Day to console the victims of the atomic bombs and to pray for the realization of lasting world peace. However, we will invite researchers and scholars to talk on the subject, but before that, let's understand the history of the nuclear attack. During the Second World War, Japan was against the United States America and its allies including Britain and the Soviet Union. The allies were winning the war and Japan was pushed back from several locations. During the fighting, several soldiers died every day and Japan had been at war for so many years. Later, Japan and China teamed up and had attacked America. Japanese troops treated very badly by Japanese soldiers. The then President of the US, Harry Truman, wanted to surrender Japanese soldiers as quickly as possible and save lives. He permitted the nuclear bombing with a view that the Japanese will surrender after the destruction. The United States wanted to avoid the invasion of Japan through the land. Also, some historians stated that the US also wanted to avoid Japan being occupied by the Soviet Union. So America dropped a nuclear bomb in Hiroshima, Japan. Here is the timeline of the Hiroshima bomb attack. 1st August 1944, US Marines declare victory over Japanese forces in the battle for Tinian Island and begin work on bases for US B-29 bombers. 16 July 1945, the nuclear age begins with the first atomic bomb explosion in New Mexico. Uranium bomb leaves San Francisco aboard the US Navy cruiser USS Indianapolis. 26 July 1945, the US President Harry Truman issues the Potsdam Declaration. 29 July 1945, Japan rejects the Potsdam Declaration. 31st July 1945, the assembly of the Little Boy uranium bomb is completed on Tinian. 1st August 1945. The order for the atomic bombing of Japan is drafted by Mission Commander Colonel Paul Tibbets. He is best known as the pilot who flew the B-29 Super Fortress known as the Enola Gay when it dropped the Little Boy, the first of 2 atomic bombs used in warfare on the Japanese city of Hiroshima. 5th August 1945. General Curtis LeMay campaign against Japan and confirms the first mission for 6 August. 6th August 1945. The B-29 Enola Gay drops the first atomic bomb which detonates over Hiroshima at 8:16 am at an altitude of 2,000 feet. Nuclear war had an effective role on World War II. However, there are side effects of the Hiroshima bombing as well. A few years after the bombing, there occurred a spike in the incidence of the leukemia amongst the survivors. After a decade, thyroid cancer, breast cancer, lung cancer, and other forms of cancer were also observed at higher than the normal rates. The other side effects include pregnant women subjected to the bombing experienced higher rates of miscarriages and infant deaths. The children who were exposed to the radiation whilst in their mother's wombs were born with intellectual disabilities, impaired growth, and an increased predisposition towards developing cancer. The detonation of the plutonium bomb led to radioactive dust particles falling out of the sky around the site of the explosion. Water and wind currents carried the dust across a much larger radius, effectively contaminating the ground, water supply, and the food chain. The contamination spread amongst agricultural plants, aquatic creatures, and terrestrial animals. Scientists also expected the effects of radioactive contamination to remain in the environment and the atmosphere up to an extent for decades. Every year on this day at 8:16 o'clock in the morning, the people of Hiroshima mark the exact moment when the atomic bomb was dropped. At that moment, bells ring out at temples, sirens wail throughout the city, and the citizens of Hiroshima observe a solemn moment of silence in remembrance. On this day, people pray for the realization of lasting world peace. A ceremony is held in front of the memorial cenotaph in the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park. The families of the deceased and the other participants from all over the world participate in the event. The first such ceremony was held in the year 1947 by the then Hiroshima mayor Shinzo Hamai. In the evening, people participate in peace message lantern floating ceremony. People write their messages of peace on these lanterns and then they set these lanterns afloat down the Motoyasu River, where they will pass directly in front of the atomic bomb dome. After historical part of the day, now we are moving towards our guest and we are inviting Professor Sanjay Pandey from Jawaharlal Nehru University. So now we are going towards our guests to know the other aspect around the subject. And so I'm inviting Professor Sanjay Pandey ji. Sanjay ji, so first of all, I would request you to introduce yourself to our listeners, please.
My name is Sanjay Pandey. I'm a professor at School of International Studies, Jawaharlal Nehru University. Yes, Arun, please.
Yes, sir. So basically, the first question is after 75 years of the incident, we are observing this day. Yes. Why there's a need specifically to observe this day in present time?
It is important to remember this day because the sheer capacity of nuclear weapons to destroy humanity, to annihilate humanity, is unmatched. And it was realized on this day, on 6th of August 1945, when at that time a relatively simpler, cruder weapon was there. And it killed, if you combine Hiroshima and Nagasaki, then more than 200,000 people, that is 2 lakh people, were killed. And many others, 3 times that number, were affected seriously by the impact. And subsequently, many of them developed very serious ailments, including leukemia and other cancers, types of cancers. So, therefore, it is very important because since then, the world has built 5, 7, 9 countries. Depends on how you count them. 9 countries are supposed to be having nuclear weapons. Around 14,000 plus nuclear weapons are there, and they have the capacity to destroy the world many times over, many hundreds of times over. And I mean, the way death and destruction comes, if you see the pictures of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the vivid, pictures, they show us the type of destruction that it brings about.
Yeah, around 200,000 people died in that incident. And today, when we are having nuclear power in our own country as well, and there are nuclear reactors and all these sort of incidents. So, what do you think about these kind of reactors, sir?
Well, it's a complex issue. On the one hand, nuclear energy can provide a reliable and relatively cheap electricity. So this is undeniable. Is also true is that there is a possibility of accidents taking place. Long Island's accident of 1979 or Chernobyl, which was the worst nuclear accident in April 1986. In 2011, Fukushima in Japan also witnessed, and there have been many other such incidents. So it only proves that although nuclear energy or atom can be a source of electricity, but at the same time, there are risks involved, and therefore, many people, peace activists, scholars, experts, scientists, believe that the world should rather not depend on nuclear energy or source of electricity. You know, France, nearly 70% of France's electricity needs are met by nuclear energy. But in recent times, recent years, there has been a rethink in France, and they are trying to reduce their dependence on nuclear energy. So it's a complex issue. Nuclear weapons are one aspect. Nuclear energy is another aspect. Many countries, including India, we believe that nuclear energy can be a reliable source of uninterrupted supply of electricity for us, and therefore we are building it. But there are many others in our country as well who believe that this is a risky proposition, and we should have a rethink over it.
Yeah, but still, there are scholars who suggest that a nuclear weapon is required to maintain the peace in the world. So, what do you think about it, sir?
Yes, yes. In fact, again, this is a complex issue. When the bombs were first dropped in 1945, 6th August, 9 August, after that, the argument that was given by the US was that it brought the Second World War, at least in the Pacific, to an end. So it's a very complex argument. India, you know, on 20th of September 2017, that was nearly 3 years back, an international treaty banning nuclear weapons was signed. India refused to be a part of that treaty. India's argument was that this is not a comprehensive treaty. Any treaty banning nuclear weapons should be comprehensive and should be verifiable. It should be something which actually eliminates all nuclear weapons. It should be non-discriminatory. So India calls for appeals for a universal, non-discriminatory and verifiable nuclear disarmament. And the present treaty, which has still not come into force, India believes is not a comprehensive treaty, is not a verifiable treaty. So that is India's objection, because of which India refused to be a part of negotiations. So that's it.
That is. I think that is the best understanding of this nuclear situation in the world. And I personally believe that should be. I mean, how should we deal with the situation as a country, as a nation? That if do not allow the first world countries to alienate their weapons, why should they? And of course, that you're right, sir. It sounds like a very complex subject.
India says we are not against it.
Yeah.
We are not against it. We just want it to be a comprehensive, non-discriminatory, and verifiable.
Verifiable, so that all the weapons could be destroyed and the energy could be used to betterment of the society.
But then we have to be very careful in the use of nuclear energy.
Thank you very much to participate in our program, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We all know nuclear power played an important role in the development of humankind, but it can play a very destructive role as well, as we have seen it in past. Professor Sanjay Pandey enlightened us about the subject, and this is the end of this program. And I will come again with some different subject on the same radio station 96.9 FM. Please keep listening us. This is Arun Patel. Goodbye.